Today is Friday afternoon and I'm going fishing tomorrow morning, so I thought I'd take you along with me while I get ready for that trip in the morning. Tomorrow morning I'm actually going to the same pond that I had some weather issues before earlier in the year. Just couldn't get a full day out there. Tomorrow looks good, so hopefully, pretty sure that's not going to be an issue again. First thing I'm actually taking out with me is going to be my swim jig. I actually like this one that I already had tied on. Really like it. I like this color. I'm going to leave it on. I actually might just retie. And my fluoro that I have on here, this is a fluorocarbon leader, looks good. I'm just going to spray everything down with my line and lure conditioner. I love this stuff. I just spray it on every time right before I go out. I usually do the night before I go out. Spray that everywhere. We're right at the end of October now, and it's been an up and down month. I've had some really nice days out in the water and some really tough days out on the water. And I think it really depends this time of year, just when you're hitting them. How's the weather been? I think a lot of times this month, some of the best days of the week have landed midweek. Sometimes I was able to be out on those days, sometimes I wasn't, and I had to wait till the weekend, and the weather might have been super cold. We had a lot of cold fronts kind of come in and out, surrounded by some really warm, unseasonably warm weather, and some much needed rain in the area as well. Actually, as I'm going through my line, I got a really worn out spot here, so I might have to change my leader. So let's do that. I'm going to use some 10-pound Sunline FC leader. This leader is really good. It's $10 for a 50-yard spool, and I have a few different pound test ratings, so I just get, every year I restock on those pound test ratings, and I'm good for the year. I actually just ran out of my 6-pound test, but that's okay. There we go. Trim that up. I don't need a really super long leader, fluorocarbon leader. I'll go maybe the rod length. So that's about 7 feet. Maybe less than that even, 6 feet. Yeah, that's pretty good. Tie on this swim jig. Alright, so technique number 1 is done. I always back off my drag in between trips. It just extends the life of your drag washers, so until I'm actually up in the morning and headed out, I'll just keep that drag all the way back down. So the next thing is going to be a lipless crankbait. Let's see what I got on here right now. I've got a silent runner on there right now. This is a Demiki Tremor Silent. Let's see. This is great, but I don't want to start with silent tomorrow. Now let me check on my lead. Again, I'm using a fluorocarbon leader on here. It's been a couple weeks since I've used this, so I just want to make sure everything's alright. Get that off of there. You know, I think I am going to use that same fluoro. It looks okay, feels alright. When I'm checking on my line, I just like to, you know, make sure there's no rough spots, there's no kinks in there. If there are any rough patches in that line, I just cut it off, redo the whole leader. But this one's in good shape, so I'm just going to reuse it. And I'm going to use that line conditioner in the reel, and then I might wipe down some of that leader as well, just to give it a little bit more limpness to it. So this is off. Now let's go find another lipless that I would like to use. I kind of want to start with a one knocker, and I think I'm going to. I'll start with that Quake. Again, I use that red hook here on the bottom. It matches the red belly, and it also, it's just that little flash of red in the water that I think there's other bluegill fry in the water. This is going to help it stick out a little bit. You don't have to go crazy. It's just really, if you didn't have red hooks, I wouldn't go crazy over it, but it's just that little tiny difference that might make a difference. Who knows? Alright, tie this on. Alright, trim that up. Check that out, little Swiss Army knife. Has scissors on one end, knife on the other. 15 bucks. This thing lasts a while. It's everything you need. Alright, so there we go. Technique number 2, lipless crankbait. And let's not forget line conditioner. I like the KVD line and lure conditioner. I've been using it. I haven't really tried any others. I just like this one, and so I just stuck with it. Let me know if you have any others that you use or you believe in, but to me this one is the one I trust. Alright, back off that drag, and technique number 2 is done. Technique number 3. I have been thinking all morning, really for the last couple days, what I'm going to do for that third technique. I don't really think I'm going to be able to utilize the jig a whole lot, the standard jig, so that's out. You know, I've been curious the last 2 or 3 trips how a weedless tube would do in some of these heavy grass, because some of the bass I've been catching have been in the grass. So if they're buried, and I know there's a lot of it in this pond, so I wonder, it's a risk. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with a weedless tube. I'll bring a couple other things out with me that I can use on that rod, just in case I want to go in a different direction. But that's what I'm going to do. Weedless tube. Let's see. And would you believe, I already have a weedless tube tied on here. There it is. I have a pretty long leader on here too, so I'm just going to trim it back a bit. I don't think I need that long of a leader, and I'm going to roll with it. This is from a company called Power Team Lures, and this is their tube. It's really a good weedless tube. It's not a very good finesse tube, so wouldn't recommend it for that, but I have in there a weedless tube head. It has a hook on the end there, it has a weight on the end, and you stuff that weight up the tube, and then the hook kind of comes around, and you get a little weedless style presentation. This is going to be a investigation tomorrow. This is just an idea I had. Like I said, the last few trips, something just to get into these grass. The grass is holding on a lot longer than I can remember, at least last year. Last year the grass was a much colder fall over here last year, and that grass kind of died back and just became that pain where you just kind of can't, it doesn't have any strength left in it, so if you get stuck, the whole clump just comes up. Not this year. This year it's holding on pretty well, and I think it must be the warmth. I mean, even though the water temps are in the 50s now, it's still hanging on really nice. There it is. Trim that up. And we're good to go. Spray this down. So This setup I haven't used in a couple months. This reel needs a drop of oil. As I was reeling in the slack, I could hear just a little bit of noise. So well, this guy Shimano comes with this little oil dropper, and I'm just going to drop it in there. So all I'm going to do is I took off my side plate, and there's a little bearing right there. I'm just going to put a couple drops on there, and that should take care of it. All set. I'm going to put this back. Alright, let's see. Much better. Back off my drag. This reel is actually getting a full bearing replacement this off season. So it's the old Cronarch CI4 Plus reel. It was the model that came out before the current model, the MGL, the Cronarch MGL that's out now. This was the model before it. Love the reel. But it's been about 5 or 6 years, I can't really remember, but every 5 or 6 years my bait catchers get a bearing replacement. I'll actually show you that this off season. So technique number 3 done. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me that like, leave me a comment, let me know if you want to see more videos getting ready to go out fishing. Hope you like this video. Give me that like and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.